Yes?
Yes.
Decisiveness. Come in for a nice strong landing. Good evening, and welcome to This Week in Joe's Basement. I'm Joe, and this is my basement. This Week in Joe's Basement, I'm going to bring you an educational experience. First in a long series of do-it-yourself science projects here at Joe's Basement. You're going to learn how to manufacture a gin-and-tonic-making machine. That's right? Right? Yes. A gin-and-tonic manufacturing machine, which will make one of these fine drinks without the aid of any human hands. So you can, I know the holiday drinking season is over, but you can look forward to that in a few minutes once I indulge, as usual, this week's viewer mail. We got a purple crayon submission from our friend Ross, who lives in Philadelphia. Don't know quite how he got a copy of the show, much less our address, but he offers the following thought. Dear Joe, I'm very concerned about the nutritional quality of the food you eat during the introduction to each show. I suggest something low-fat yet nutritionally stimulating, such as a warthog. Sincerely, Ross. Ross offers a little illustration, the lower right-hand corner of the page, to clarify what he means by a warthog. Hey, cat, get off the monitor. Sorry about that. You should never treat your animals like that. It's terrible. They'll just hate you later. Oh, now I've been disrupted. Here we go. How do you pronounce this?
The last name?
Yeah.
I would say Latouchek.
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 Paul Latouchek of Wellington Avenue on the north side writes to us, and he's got an important question on his mind. He writes, Dear Joe, I saw Joe's Basement a couple of times before, and last night on 9:30 on Channel 19 Chicago Cable.
Support the troops! We support the troops! We support the troops! The camera's not on.
I realized we should come up with, you know how they have like this, 30 seconds, 5 seconds or whatever, something like that. And I think there's a stretch. We should have one for like where you make milk. Milk. I should have worked that into it. We should have filmed that, but oh well.
You did.
Oh, good. Excellent.
You didn't say stop.
You're on the ball. Chris is on the ball. Sorry, there was a momentary distraction there. Let me get back to this fascinating letter from Paul Latouchek. I think the show is great, but is Tuesday night the night that I should look forward to as to when it is on? Can you let me know? I've enclosed a self-addressed stamped envelope. Thanks, Paul. A fan and still streaking at 200 pounds and 40-something. With that enigmatic remark, he closes his letter. And, well, Paul, if you happen to be watching this evening, or if any friends of Paul D. Latouchek of Wellington Avenue on the north side are watching this evening, if you could please pass on the word that it is Monday night at about 10:15. Well, give or take a few minutes. My watch is a little fast. Anyway, you get the idea. All right. So we got another submission by a more unorthodox form of communication, and I'm always encouraging that here at Joe's Basement. Wet, sticky objects, packages, messages scrawled on the back of pizza containers. Anything goes as far as I'm concerned, and there's a fellow who's contacted me through electronic mail. And so I'd like to get to his submission this week. Get over to the Joe's Basement staff computer. Dan? This is the machine by which we keep a global network of information at our fingertips. And got a message here from our friend Ronald, who writes to us as follows. Dear Joe, so you had your stupid dryer trick, he says, referring to Sandwich Dan, who was on a couple of episodes ago, who climbed into an industrial strength dryer and allowed us to spin dry him. I thought that was quite good, actually. So you had your stupid dryer trick, but I want to know, how do I get on this week in Joe's Basement? I think I can do one better, or worse. I don't know how the evaluation system works here. How's this? I'm willing to reprise Divine's role as Babs Johnson in the movie Pink Flamingos and eat dog manure on camera. I will allow your camera crew to follow me around until we spot a suitable dog, and I will allow full close-ups of me chewing, just so you know how motivated I am to be on This Week in Joe's Basement. Ron, ever the realist, continues, I'm hoping that an appearance will launch me into the big-time world of entertainment, movies, TV, music. I don't care at this point. How have others fare who've appeared on your show? Well, I've never made any of them eat dog shit, I can assure you that, Ron. Anyway, he closes with a few miscellaneous comments, including FDA approval and all that sort of thing. Well, Ron, as you can imagine, this sounds like a tempting offer, of sorts. Rather, I would say that if you're willing to do something so stupid as to actually eat dog shit, I certainly want to be there with a camera, so put up or shut up. I emailed him back, actually, and I haven't heard the word. Maybe he's getting cold feet. We'll see. All right. Let me gather myself together here and get back to the chair. Let's see. Where am I at here? Well, I think that wraps it up for the mail. Our pledge at This Week in Joe's Basement is that any mail you send to us in any way, shape, or form whatsoever to the following address that's on your screen, we will respond to it somehow on television. So check it out. If you have any responses to this show or general need for attention, then please write to us. We always enjoy thoughts from our viewers out there. Well, last August, we here at This Week in Joe's Basement celebrated the achievement of our 50th episode, something that frankly none of us had ever even anticipated, and even at episode 49 I don't think we were quite certain. And so we had a party at this place called the Love Loft, which is in fact not a business establishment, but some guy's apartment. Their phone's been disconnected by now, actually. I'm not sure if it's still in business. Anyway, it was a great thing. It was really something. And our friend Him, my frequent sparring partner via viewer mail, who refuses to give his actual name, put in a request for some of the footage that we shot at the party. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't shoot videotape on my spare time. I see enough of this shit when I work every day. But we did have a little sort of amusement at the party where we carried this chair over there and set it up in a dark corner and set a camera rolling. And anyone who wanted to be on television, or at that point just be on tape, were able to sit in that chair and really do whatever they wanted to. And people did whatever they wanted to. Well, we ran hours and hours of footage, and as usual, the small fraction of it was of some interest, including this fellow. What was his name?
Lee Groban, Esquire.
Lee Groban, this guy who's written the longest poem in the world. I think it's like 4,000 pages long, and it's called The Cure for Insomnia. I'm not sure the specifics, but
He read all of it.
yeah, he read all of it in the chair, and I had to kick him off at some point because that's only so funny for so long. Anyway, so never one to refuse a request. Those of you who saw me a couple of weeks ago wearing nothing but a bedsheet just because some young lady wanted me to wear a toga. I wore a bedsheet and I think part of a Christmas tree branch with a rubber band on my head. Never one to refuse a request from one of our more enthusiastic regular viewers. So Him, if you want to see some footage, we showed a little bit when we were running reruns back in the fall. Here's a little bit more of the scene at the Joe's Basement 50th episode party.
She suck my left
She
cheek.
said, suck my breast one, please, quick.
Yeah, I love to spit.
This is like this guy. This is the same guy 2 beers later.
Wow, this is
Oh no! It's just what is going on back there? Okay, here's this guy. God knows what he had to say, but if you guys don't mind, I had to take shit from this guy all night long. I don't want to hear him anymore.
Joe, this is...
I was convinced that was him. So.
Yeah.
Okay, Joan and somebody else now. Who's this guy?
That's Matthew, isn't it? Nathan?
I'm introducing
My name is Nathan.
This is Nathan. And Nathan is from
Rhode Island.
he's from Rhode Island. Now
The
that's
smallest state.
it is the smallest
Not the
state.
biggest state.
She really wants to be on the show, huh?
Oh shit! Since you had a little postscript
Let's
here.
see.
I was in the chair is Brian Myers. If you are watching this, you owe me $485.93, and I want it now. And Mrs. Myers, if you're watching this, your son owes me $490-some-odd.
Oh
We saw him last night, as a matter of fact.
Let me just hear a little bit of him.
This guy is the Guinness Book of World Records owner of the world's longest poem. It's 4,800 pages. He made it into a movie that's 85 hours long.
And it's called The Cure for Insomnia. You want to join us for a minute, please?
What time is it?
Access is
No, he's not home.
I'll see you guys at the Cove.
Okay.
Yeah, leave a message.
See you tomorrow.
All right, you guys gotta move down.
All right.
Oh, what are you gonna name this
Oh, God,
episode? 3 Men and a Baby? 3 Men and a...
3 men in a fucking lunatic.
And he doesn't even notice.
Oh God.
Bye, friends.
Bye.
You're
Bye,
gonna have
Louise.
to hear that you're gonna...
And a 3 men and a baby. Here you go, Dan.
Can I have a cigarette down here, Joe?
You can have one for the occasion, yeah.
Bob, can I get a cigarette?
No.
All right, 25
This
minutes.
is interesting because Chris can't see any of this footage. You can only see our reactions. Oh God, he's still going. God, this poet guy, Michelle assured me that he went for like an hour, and I think she's
He keeps
close
going
to being correct.
and going.
Let's
and
just
going.
see a little second of what the hell he's doing.
What? Well, he's on programs that are widely watched. So it's certain friends place like watching.
Well, obviously he's not reading. Now he probably
No, he was just setting pi to the 1,000th decimal place is what he was
Oh, there's
doing.
some of his paper. Oh, I was here at that time. Now this is when I'm kicking him off. Oh, this woman, she's a poet. She's interesting. I know this woman. I can't remember her name. Oh well.
Because there was no need to.
Oh well. That was it. Let's go film my opening, I guess.
Bob?
Give me a cigarette.
No, I'm sorry, I don't have any.
Can I have a cigarette, please?
You are finished, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So, it's just as if you were there. Actually, it's nothing near it. That's kind of the point. I think. If you're gonna be there, you're gonna be there. You can't, can a party and put it into some little container and pass it on. A party is a party. It's sort of an organic thing, Anyway, so people have been hounding me ever since we had that party, especially the people who didn't make it use slugs. It was a nice warm summer night. You should have been there. There was nothing else better to do that night. Well, maybe there was. But anyway, people have been hounding me ever since, asking me, when are we going to have another This Week in Joe's Basement party? And we didn't have a 51st episode party, so those same people were probably wondering, in suspense. Well, the suspense is over. We are having a special event, This Week in Joe's Basement. I mentioned it once before. At the University of Chicago Documentary Film Society. Oops. Well, it's, here's their calendar, and the listing is rather small, but it's right around here somewhere. Anyway. We're having a Joe's Basement live show on February 17th at the University of Chicago Documentary Film Society, which is located at 1212 East 59th Street down here in the hood. And driving directions, well, we'll take care of that later. But you can look it up. It's a fine establishment, actually, a fine theater and another not-for-profit business so that I can advertise it on TV, on cable access, I should say. So February 17th at 8 o'clock, we're going to have an hour-and-a-half long multimedia, visual, musical extravaganza, basement style. Haven't quite got all the details worked out. I probably won't have all of them worked out until about half an hour before the show, but what do you expect, right? Anyway, so the basic format of this is going to be sort of a greatest hits show, aimed at cultivating a desire for Joe's Basement and the uninitiated, let them in on all of our gags. And I think for any of you, those of you who've missed sort of our classic period, our first 30 episodes or so, this will be a good chance to catch up. Dan is snickering at my use of the word classic. But there you go. Make of it what you will. So this is a good thing for people who've never seen the show before. Requires, no prior knowledge of the show, so it's good for those of your friends who don't have cable. Those of you who don't have cable, I don't know how you're seeing me now. Pass on the word. February 17th, and come on down to the University of Chicago Doc Film Society, which is a fine place to see big cheesy videos. Anyway, listen, I think it wouldn't be fair if I didn't give you a taste of what was to come. So here is a brief trailer to whet your appetite for what you can expect from the This Week in Joe's Basement live show.
In the D.
See?
Right, all that and much more, February 17th. All right, I think I've gotten rid of all that bit of business. So, on to the educational and stimulating part of this week's episode. Our Joe's Basement, do it yourself, do it at home science project. We're going to learn how to make a machine which will make gin and tonics. And our science expert, Anton, who is on vacation from the University of California at Berkeley. How does this work here? There we go. Thanks, Chris. Alrighty. Anton, show us your thing there, your apparatus.
Sure, Joe. Well, this is my gin and tonic making machine.
What's happening back there?
You need some room behind you. So anyway, for years I've had this idea in the back of my mind that I guess I've been developing that it's such a pain to mix drinks by myself. And I wanted to make a machine where all you would have to do is push a button and it would combine all the ingredients in a glass, including tonic water, gin, a lime, one slice of lime, and say a couple ice cubes in the glass, and you just pick up the glass and you drink it. You know? I mean, I like the idea of the luxury. And can you get the phone? Okay. And the idea is that you do it in a really repeatable way, so that if there's a way you like the drink, then the mixture will be the same every time. Okay. So you want to see how it works?
Yeah, please.
Okay. All right. Well, I have a schematic diagram here of the fundamental components.
Okay.
All right. The basic problem is, how do you regulate flow of fluid? I mean, in industry they have valves, that are electrically controlled. I mean, that's a special component. That's not low grade enough for this. So here's the idea. If you have a bottle which is inverted like this, so here's the level of liquid inside, say this is either gin and there's air space above it, you see? Then below you have some little reservoir, like a cup, that comes up underneath it. When the level in the cup gets above the lower lip of the bottle, the liquid won't flow out anymore. So by just moving that cup down a little bit, so that the bottom of the bottle is revealed, the liquid will glug back out, and you move it back up, and the liquid will stop glugging, and that's the way you control its flow. All right? Then by putting a funnel underneath it, you can channel the tonic water or the gin into where you want it. Okay? And so similarly, there's a dispensing mechanism for the ice and for the limes, which I imagine is sort of a ramp deal with little motor-actuated something at the end. I mean, there's a bunch of ideas. I haven't never really worked the bugs out of that one. But I mean, it's one cube at a time, and it goes plunk in the glass like that. It's delicious, all right? Right. All right, and then the whole thing, the essential thing is this repeatability. I mean, that's the way you justify it. It's basically a way to kill time, but the reason which makes it better than actually doing it by hand is it's always the same. Okay, so for that, I had this idea for the programmable command subsystem of the gin and tonic machine by taking a tube from a paper towel dispenser and wrapping aluminum foil around it in bands like this, and having it turned by a motor which is plugged into some power source, and putting metal contacts above the aluminum foil strip, so as it rotates, for some parts of its cycle, some circuits are closed and sometimes they're open. That is when the foil is underneath the two contacts. You get it? And so that closes some circuit when the foil is present between the battery and some solenoids that can pull on some strings and actuate some things, and that's the way the thing works. All right. Okay, so here you can. Okay, it's much harder to actually see what's going on here. So, but okay, so understand. I mean, the whole thing is it's not finished.
Right,
So
I understand. It's not finished.
Okay, all right. All right, let me get over here. So here's a working reservoir. This bottle represents a bottle of something else, like gin or tonic. Okay. And here you can see the funnel on the outside, and it's actually a cut up plastic champagne glass from John Kohler's Christmas party.
Right.
And inside is a smaller version of the same thing, and it's held onto by this piece of tape, which goes up to the string, which passes over here, and you can see the thread goes down and it's wound around this spool of wire, which is a counterweight because I don't have anything else at the moment.
Okay.
And you can see that so when I lift this up, the cup will come down, the fluid will go glug 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 into this funnel here, come down through this tube, and pour into the glass right down there at the bottom, and fill it up with delicious whatever the hell it is. Okay. So watch, I'll demonstrate. Look, if you can look right where the action occurs there, I'm going to lift up on the spool, lift this up,
all right.
And so the string will go up here and it'll come down, the cup will come down, it'll glug a little bit, and you'll see the fluid go down the glass. Ready?
Okay.
No problem.
Well, I'll be damned.
I was really afraid that wouldn't work. Okay.
Okay.
Great, it didn't spill or anything. I tried it like a minute ago and we couldn't really stop it. It was a little bit of a funny situation. Okay. Oh, I didn't put any ice in here, but this is the ice dispenser. See this ramp thing here? So the idea is get a bunch of ice cubes like this and stack them up. And here's something like that. Like that, see? Okay. And then you get a little motor to do like this. Well, something like that. Okay, you get it?
Yeah.
But that was the idea. That was the idea. Okay.
So that's your automated ice dispenser.
Right.
Which
And
takes its instructions from the automated central command control unit.
programmable command subsystem.
Sorry.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Exactly. Right. All right. And so that's for the ice. Now you have a duplicate one for the lime, and I don't actually have any limes here, so I couldn't really set this up. But I have a piece of lettuce, which I found in the refrigerator. And I'll put it in there instead. Okay.
Okay.
And so then it's done, and then you just take it and you go, it's delicious. It's great, wonderful, and it took almost no labor at all. I mean, if it had worked, it wouldn't have taken any labor at all. It just worked.
Gotcha. Well, I'll look forward to seeing the completed model, Anton, the next time I'm hankering for a gin and tonic.
Next time I get back to Chicago, Joe.
Thanks very much. All right. Hey, Chris? You want to take the camera back, please? I'm sorry, I don't really know how to work this thing.
Oh shit. I am major fucked.
What's wrong, Dan?
I'm playing pipe dream and I'm about to lose big time because I got a whole bunch of area to traverse here. Oh, and I put the one piece I had that was right shit in the wrong place.
It's a damn shame.
I must feel this gonna hurt to go to the bathroom for quite some time now.
Wow. All right. So we're back. There you have it. Complete, clear, easy to follow instructions for your own automated gin and tonic making machine. Now go out and build one. Who says we can't hold one to the model railroader, huh? I want to see you flipping that channel. All right. So, well, you know, I was at dinner the other night, and with a couple of my friends over at the Medici, local restaurant here in Hyde Park, and well, I met this friend Anne, who's a friend of Louise's, and we were at dinner together, and she was telling these really funny stories about all her old boyfriends, and well, yeah, why don't you hear it for yourself?
It's terrible. My first love was Mark Lorenzi. He came to my grade school in 5th grade, and I loved him. And in 6th grade, he went out.
doing there, Anton?
He went out with Kathy Komorowski.
We're building a house of cards.
And that was like Star Wars was really big. And he bought Kathy Komorowski this R2D2 necklace, and she wore it around every day. And I was like, inside my mind, I was like, I want to rip that R2D2 necklace off her neck. That R2D2 necklace is supposed to be mine. I'm supposed to be wearing that R2D2 necklace. So anyway, they stopped going out at the end of 6th grade, so Mark Lorenzo was like free and clear, you know, for 7th grade. This poor guy was probably so terrible. You know how in classrooms in grade school, you know, you have to you get seating assignments and stuff like that. So you're like changing seating assignments this one time, and then you pick numbers or whatever. And so Mark Lorenzi's numbers was picked up. So I'm like, oh my God, please, please, please. Anyway, and they picked my number, and I was like,
in this game you want
yes, and I started jumping up and down. I was like, yes, yes, yes. I like ran over.
Just totally
and sat-
unselfconsciously, right?
And I sat next to Mark Lorenzi. I was like smiling. I was like, going, I can't believe this. I can't believe my number was picked. And then during my 7th grade science fair, he chased me around like with this cactus plant. And I have this diary passage, you know, it's just like, oh, I love Mark Lorenzi tonight. He chased me around with the cactus. But this,
My brother
really?
from high school.
But
He's got one stashed away. So
Wow, that's funny.
Yeah, but then like that whole thing just ended so tragically. Finally, Mark Lorenzi asked me out on a date. We were supposed to go to this basketball game, and his mother grounded him the day of the basketball game, and then the most tragic ending ever. He left our school, and the day he left was like on my birthday. And I cried. Actually, no, the very final ending was that his little brother was still going to our school, and he sent me this little note with a picture in the thing, and I opened up the letter and stuff like that. And there was this in my bedroom. There was this air conditioner that didn't work, and so I had like. I had this secret compartment. Yeah. I had this.
No, this is no good. You
this secret compartment in this old air conditioner didn't work, so I put his picture in there. Yeah. You know, and I would every once in a while I'd go to the compartment and look at it. And one day I came home and the air conditioner was gone. And I went running down. I was like, Mom, where's the air conditioner? And she, you know, it hadn't worked for so long, she threw it out. So it was like just a tragic ending. It was like my first love. Tragedy left and right. What?
A picture of this guy, and she hid in the air conditioner.
A picture of that guy and a piece of gum that I chewed that he had given me. Oh, the gum, the picture. Oh, I love you, Mark Lorenzi.
How old were you?
I was 12.